So let's see if we can change this output. I'm going to go back to our code, and instead of saying powered by Drupal, let's just put changed. Okay, and I'm going to jump back to the browser and refresh. And it now still says powered by Drupal. Okay, so what's the problem here? It can be hard to tell if this is a problem with our code or if it's a problem with caching. In this case, it's a problem with caching. So always investigate whether caching might be the issue before you start to hack up your code to try to figure out what's going on there. Let's take a look at the configuration for this block and see what's going on. So I'm going to click the edit and then configure block, and we'll expand the cache settings here. So this says maximum age forever. And it says here, this block is always cached forever. It is not configurable. Okay, so that's probably a problem. Our block, our history block, it needs to be dynamic. Every time we visit a page, the block needs to be rebuilt. So caching should probably be completely disabled for this particular block. Now, when we were looking through the block code, you may remember that we hit a couple of methods inside of the block plugin class that said something about caching. So let's go back there and take a look. So we're in our Trails history block.php file. Down here we have get cache max age and then is cacheable. Now my guess is that these are optional. You can see here that they're overriding existing methods inside of the class block base. So I'm going to experiment with just removing these altogether. And then there's another part here, which is inside of our configuration form, we have some settings for the cache being set. It says cache disabled equals true. So this is probably why we couldn't change that caching limit input from forever to something else. And then the max age value is cache permanent. Okay, that sounds like something we probably don't need. And then it also adds a description that says this block is always cached forever. It is not configurable. So let's just remove all of those, and we'll keep the basic structure of this configuration form because we know we want to come in here and edit it later to add our maximum number input. So I'm going to save this. And then if we jump back to the browser and take a look at our block again and refresh, you'll see that our content still hasn't changed. Now this is because even though we changed the block factory, we haven't actually edited the block itself. The block is its own thing. It's spun off away from the factory and it's its own sort of entity. So we need to edit that and change the configuration for it. So let's go to configure block. Let's click cache settings. Under maximum age, we can say no caching now. All right, cool. And now let's save block. Now if we look at our Trails history, it says changed. And we should be able to go in and edit this content now to changed again and jump back to the browser and refresh. And it says changed again. Okay, so now this content is live, and as we make changes to the output here, we should be able to see it in real time. So at this point, if we're not seeing it in real time, chances are the problem is with our code rather than with cache.